Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we try to analyze the current price of ETH, and with respect to risk levels, we try to estimate what the future peak for ETH would be in 2025. None of the content is financial advice. So let's get started with this chart that you're seeing is the uh, color coded with respect to risk levels for ETH. We're looking at two major risk levels. So again, when the risk is below 10%, like it is since about early to mid April of 2025 and late March, essentially since late March, 11% and 10% risk. Again, with respect to the polynomial regression based function available on cryptoweeklies.com, the link is on the bottom of your screen. It's available for free for all. So the fair value per hour regression based analysis is at around $4,200. The current price of ETH is at around $1,600. If we look at some of the technical levels, this is another major area of support for ETH at around $1,550. If this week, which will end in April 13th, if the price is below that $1,550 like it is right now, that would signal a major area of support. If you look at this trend line for the lows that ETH held throughout the course of the bear market till about February 2025, essentially since then the valuation has broken down and now entered a major area of support. If we were to extrapolate this trend line till about end of year of 2025, the price of ETH in that regimen could be somewhere at around $4,000 level. If we go and check the machine learning based, at least the regression based valuation at that, um, the color code, the second color code of interest is this between 50 and 60% risk. That's where the major rallies at least go to that level, and then they either top at that level at like they did back in March and June of 2024, or they go slightly higher and eventually put out the red colored risk levels like they did back in May 2021, or the yellow color that they did in November 2021 at around 60 to 70% risk. Again, there are no guarantees that the risks, again the price goes to those risk levels. You can see in December 2023 also this in the third iteration of the top for 2023, the price did not go to that 40 to, even uh, 40 to 50%, but kind of topped at around 44% risk level. Right now, if we were to extrapolate that in the next series or in the next series of events, if the prices were to go back to the fair value that is at around $4,200 and then eventually close to the 50 to 60% risk target, what could be the price for ETH? Again, the 50% risk level, at 50% risk level, the price of ETH for this model could be at around $6,172, and the, 60 at 55% at around $6,600. So that's the higher end of the forecast for ETH. If we were to extrapolate what ETH could do in the next half of 2025, what needs to be analyzed is what ETH BTC pair is currently performing at. If we look at this pair over a course of several market cycles, you can see that in since June 2017, ETH has not put a new high against Bitcoin. This is the number of Bitcoins available for one ETH. Right now, less than 0.02 Bitcoin is available for one ETH. That means it would take almost 50 ETH tokens to fetch one Bitcoin if we were to analyze in terms of whole numbers. You can check this again, the major retracement that occurred on this chart. Again, if we look at how the chart behaved from June 2017 till about June 2018, and again about September 2019, that's where the pair bottomed in in the 2019 cycle. From that retracement, from that bottom, the retracement level that the peak that ETH reached against Bitcoin was at around 0.5 Fib level. So that is only half of the move got retraced at around 0.08. That was the peak for Bitcoin ETH BTC in 2021. If we were to extrapolate this again in 2025 and say that in 2025 cycle, the lows or the highs for ETH against BTC would be at around 0.5. That would correspond to ETH pair going to that 0.053 valuation at 0.5 Fibonacci level, that would correspond to about 187% rally if we assume that ETH BTC pair has bottomed this week. Again, there is no guarantee that this pair has bottomed. This pair did make a series of uh, corrections essentially since January, third week of January of 2025. This pair has been in a free fall. Again, if they were to prayer were to go back to that zero point 0.5 fib level and rally to about 187%, in that environment, let's take this value 0.053 as ETH BTC peak, and let's say the price of Bitcoin right now price is at around 82k. If for ETH to rally against Bitcoin by about 180%, Bitcoin has to rally, because for ETH to rally, most of its rallies against Bitcoin occur when Bitcoin is going up and ETH is outperforming Bitcoin. So in that case, if ETH were to go to that, if the hypothesis is that if ETH were to go to that 187% rally against Bitcoin on its USD pair would need to make at least a 60% rally. That is 1.6x of the current price. In that scenario, the peak for ETH would be at around $6,900. And per our machine learning based model, again, this is the regression based model. The machine learning based models are available, again, one row for one crypto, not just ETH. We have several other cryptos on this website, all for free. Cryptoweeklies.com. This machine learning based model says that as we kind of calculated that $6,900 ETH has a peak, this model says that that would take a lot of bullish environment in the market. The one standard deviation bull case for ETH per this model peaks at around $2,700 in September of 2025. Again, we look only 6 months into the future. If the rally were to top out, let's say November December 2025, that would be out of the scope of this model at this point in time. Again, if you check out this model 2 to 3 months down the future, again, that would cover till about December 2025. Again, these models are updated every day. Uses seasonal ARIMA, LSTM, and XGBoost machine learning based model. Lots of considerations going behind this model. So if you like this kind of content, please give us a like and subscribe. If we look at the two standard deviation or the 95 percentile bull case for ETH, with a V-shaped recovery in the next 6 months and slightly higher high than the three triple tops that ETH had in 2024. That would take the price action per this model at a 95 percentile bull case between $1,700 and about $4,200. That $4,200 was confluent with that fair value for ETH per the regression based model, as well as this extended green line that could meet at around $4,200 sometime in middle of May of 2026. Again, that's the furthest the market could again take to go back to the fair value, or to the trend line for that ETH had held since about June 2022. So that takes to that $4,200 target. Even the three standard deviation or a 99.7 percentile bull case for ETH, where the probability that price action spends outside the red line is only 0.15%. Again, this is out of 100%, that's 0.3% chance that the price stays beyond these bonds. But these bonds are not just bullish side to the bearish side also. Both together, outside this red line and the blue line, that's the 0.3% probability. So you have to divide that by 2 to get 0.015% chance that the price in the next 6 months goes beyond $6,200. So if that $6,900 price action were to happen, it could happen only in two scenarios where the price has rallied and burst out of the 0.15% chance and broken this ceiling, which has only 0.15% probability, or it takes longer than 6 months. That is, the peak for ETH, if it were to peak beyond $6,200, would take the peak outside, let's say, the October, November, and December, the last quarter of 2025. The support for ETH in the next 3 to 4 months, if the downturn were to continue till about July of 2025, That support is between $984 and $1,350 for ETH. So all in all, as we discussed, again, not financial advice, the targets at different risk levels and different machine learning based iteration of or uh, confidence levels of these models. This is how the three scenarios for ETH could pan out in the next 6 months. The key levels to watch, again, per the ETH BTC pair at around 0.053. On ETH USD pair, again, the Fibonacci levels of interest is if the rally goes back to that zero point 0.3, so 0.23 Fib level at around 1800 and $1,842, that could be a good sign for ETH. If it were to go back to that at around $2,400 36, that 0.38 Fib level and the 0.5 Fib level at around 0. Sorry, at around $2,900. Those are the three levels to watch for, and ultimately the peak for the peak for the ETH for this model for this bull run to go beyond the 1.61 at Fib level at around $7,400. A lot has to go right. Bitcoin has to rally more than 60% at around 80%, somewhere between 75 and 80% from the current price. That's how, let's say, at around 75% rally on Bitcoin's price at current price at around $82,000, and the pair going back to the point 0.053. That's how the price could go beyond that 1.618. So again, this late into the bull run, uh, price for ETH, again, realistically speaking, somewhere the in the next 6 months, the price action, even in a macro bull run, if the prices enjoy the macro bull run in the next 6 months, the ceiling at around $4,200 is what is expected for ETH. And if you are slightly more bullish than that, take an average of $4,200 and $6,200, roughly speaking 10,400 divided by 2 at around $5,200. That's the realistic case, if that uh, massive bull run were to occur for ETH in the next 6 months. With that, I would like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.